Hi and welcome. This is Nicola Beer and I'm so excited that you are here with me. I'm excited because you have come to part 4. If you haven't listened to part 1, part 2 and part 3 of how to reignite love and passion in your relationship in the Empowered Love Masterclass, then I recommend you go back and you listen to 1, 2 and 3 because I really want them to make sense. And I really want you to get the most value out of your time. Your time is valuable. I don't want you to listen to rubbish. There's enough rubbish out there. And I pride myself on really trying to make sure that my relationship tips that I offer give guidance, give support, and really give value. So go back and listen to 1, 2, and 3 if you haven't. And this is part 4. And if you're ready for part 4, woohoo! I'm so thrilled you're with me. It means so much. You being with me allows me to do what I do. And I'm very grateful because I love helping people to free themselves from loneliness, from pain, and to live a joyful life. So secret number 3 is getting your partner to change overnight. Well, maybe not overnight, but quickly anyway, without you having to go over past problems and without you having to be stuck in constant arguments over the same thing. So I'm just going to share with you a story as it's the best way to illustrate this secret. I had just landed in Dubai. I remember walking off the plane, feeling like I'd been sat in a spa for the whole week. The sense of freedom and peace after attending my brother's wedding in the US was amazing. I loved the wedding vibe, the buzz. It was brilliant. Before I went, my partner had refused to go because he didn't like America and he didn't like going on holiday, which I shared with you in part 3. I don't know why he didn't like America. I think he'd only been twice. But anyway, I absolutely loved it. And you know what it's like being at a wedding? What was your wedding day like? Think back to that. And think back to someone really close to you's wedding. Your best friend, your sister, your brother. What was their wedding like? I love weddings because they're full of love and happiness. There's so much love energy buzzing around. And I had so much love energy inside me, just being there, just seeing the smiling faces, seeing my brother so happy, so in love. So whilst in this mood, I thought to myself, I'm going to forgive my partner. If he doesn't want to come, that's okay. And I had other things that really I thought, I don't want to carry this resentment with me. I don't want to carry this negativity with me. I don't want to feel or think negatively towards him. And so I started to let it go. After the wedding, back in my hotel room, I said to myself, sat on my carpet of the hotel bed floor, I said, I'm going to let this go. Please, universe, let me let this go. Let me feel love towards my partner. Let me send him loving thoughts. Take away my resentments. Let me be free. Let me be love. And that's what I did. And straight away, I felt different inside. I felt better inside. I felt loved inside. I woke up feeling amazing. I had a really great night's sleep. And it was an epic feeling. An epic feeling of freedom. I felt free from the chains of feeling angry at him before I went for him not wanting to come. And I felt better about myself because before I told myself that him not coming to the wedding meant that I mean nothing, he doesn't care about me, he doesn't love me. I made up all these horrible stories to myself about the relationship. So anyway, I'm landing in Dubai. I'm walking past all of the people in the terminal and I noticed that most of them had smiles on their faces. And I looked and I smiled back. For such a long time, I'd kept my head down, not even noticing the people around me when I was in my negativity mode. But now I'm in my love energy mode. I notice people. I smile. I feel energy of other people. And as I was waiting for my suitcase to arrive on the conveyor belt to go back home, I felt my stomach knotting a little bit. I felt nervous at the prospect of meeting my partner because we left on not good terms. I left in a negative mood with him, and even though he may not have known just how negative I was towards him, I'm sure he could have picked up on it, because you can feel resentment without even having to say anything. But I was kind of feeling hopeful as well, that my week of feeling great about life, the week of feeling love and being around people I love and seeing the wedding, I thought, with this new approach, things are going to be different. And then it happened. As I pulled my suitcase along, past a queue of hotel chauffeurs, standing with name cards and taxi drivers calling you for a limo service, in the corner of my eye, I noticed a bright red colour at the end. And as I looked closer, I thought, I recognise those shiny sunglasses a mile off. My partner was standing there. My mouth dropped. "Take these," he said, handing me a big bunch of red roses. We hugged so deeply, it was beautiful. He then took my bags off me. It took me a few moments to get over the shock of his surprise. In the whole time we were together, we never ever met each other at the airport. In fact, it was the first time I'd ever been met at an airport in a place I lived. Inside, I was filled with joy, and I knew that this was right, and had all been a result of me focusing on awakening my love energy. We jumped in his car, we kissed passionately, something we hadn't done in a long time, and it felt different. It also tasted different. He shared with me that whilst I'd gone, he'd also finally quit smoking, something we used to argue about as well, as he used to smoke 40 a day and in bed. I felt like it was Christmas. He asked me how the trip had been, and I'd opened up to him about the incredible experience I had. I shared with him the simple exercises I've been doing to keep opening into love and the energy of love, and how the energy of the wedding refocused my mind away from the stress and complaints of the day-to-day life. I could see clearly how all the pain and hard times were a cloud raining over the relationship all the time while my love energy was sleeping. We arrived home, made love, and it was like we'd never forgotten each other. And I slept like I'd never slept before. Over the coming weeks, I continued to immerse myself in more highly powerful techniques, spurred on by the success of what I was starting to see. Each day coming home from work, I noticed how when we talked, it was like a flowing river of water, so natural and simple. We discussed our differences in a calm and adult way, and that was easy to do because we were connected. Every time I could feel tension in the air or a judgment coming from inside, I would say, "What would love do? What would love do?" I remember walking through the door of the flat, noticing my partner sitting on the sofa again. As before my retreat, I could feel some older anger and resentment rising inside. And then it happened. Before it could take hold, I said to myself, "What would love do?" The next thing that came out of me was, "Would you like a cup of coffee?" "Yes," he said, surprised. I then looked over at the washing, and he'd done it and neatly folded it into a pile. And that's when I knew, in my heart of hearts, that my love energy was awakened. Because I was making these changes, and without saying anything, he was changing too. It was beautiful. Small changes in the way I reacted to situations, and using the phrase, "What would love do?" really helped me. The bond we have together grew stronger as I acted more loving. It's something so simple but so powerful. And that's how I knew the power of awakening your love energy. Awakening my love energy didn't mean that I had to make undue effort to change my partner. It was as if he noticed the changes within me and he responded to that change. It was kind of like when you start singing a song and everyone joins in because they enjoy the tune. I'm singing the song of love and happiness and freedom, and everyone else is joining in. Every time that you have a challenging situation in your marriage, I want you to say to yourself, "What would love do?" if that feels right for you. in a calming way and wait for the answer and notice how you feel. It really helps like magic. Another phrase I use all the time is, how can I be more loving? How can I be more loving to myself? How can I be more loving to my partner? It's something I repeat regularly, and it really helps me. So pick one of them, or pick both of them if you like them, as you go through the day, when things irritate you, or when you're feeling down at yourself, when you're criticising yourself over what you've done that day, what you've said that day, what you've ate or drank that day. Just say to yourself, how can I be more loving? Now you may be thinking that, okay, this is easy for you, Nicola, because you work in this field and you're a coach. But it hasn't just worked for me. Julie is a mother of 3, and she had tried everything to save her marriage. She'd watched all my YouTube videos, she'd read my blogs, and she just kept thinking, you can't do anything but wait for them to change. She thought, there is no way I can save my relationship on my own. She felt hopeless and was ready to give up altogether. Then she stumbled on the Marriage Secret Empowered Love formula, which was in my Masterclass. She watched the Masterclass. And she thought, okay, this sounds different. So for the sake of my children, I'll try one last time to make it work. And she did. She took that leap of faith, tried the program, and this is what happened. And again, I'm going to read it from her because I think it's nicer when I read from her. I was so surprised how well the strategies in the Empowered Love formula actually worked. I read up lots before on anger, low moods and aggression, and most of what I found said you can't do anything. They have to want to change. But I knew if I'd waited for him to change, our marriage would be over. There was so much useful information given on how to create more love, how to motivate your spouse, ways to overcome anger, how to handle conflict, how to make joint decisions, and improve communication. It was well worth the money and time spent. I never thought you could save your relationship on your own, but you can. The only part that was difficult in fighting to save the marriage was fighting the voice in my head that kept on saying, why do I have to go first? Why is it always me? Why should I be so kind to him when he is so difficult? Nicola's advice really helped me with that. She made me see that this way of thinking kills the relationship as it focuses on what is missing. Before the program, we had both been waiting for the other to make the effort first. We were barely communicating, and the children could sense the tension. They were playing us off against each other. Thankfully, not only are we much closer, the children seem much happier and better behaved too. I'm so grateful for the program. It changed our lives. So maybe you're thinking right now, why does it always have to be me? Why is it me that has to change the relationship? I remember thinking exactly the same thing. Night after night, I'd look at him on the sofa with such disgust, it hurt me on the inside. Why can't he frickin' change, I would say to myself. Why was he so boring? Why was he so lazy? Why does he smoke so much? Again and again, I'd be hurting myself, having all of these negative feelings. Then, when I was focusing on trying to awaken my love energy, but still feeling hurt and angry on the inside, I remembered Gandhi's quote, "Be the change you want to see in the world." It was so powerful that I understood straight away I'd attracted this at this time, and this is a principle I needed to live by. Concentrating on awakening your love energy creates ripples in a world that last a lifetime. Your dream marriage is waiting for you, if only you can step into your true power and be the change first, which I know is hard to do if you're the only one trying to make the relationship work right now. Remember, I had tried absolutely every trick in the book. I tried to do everything to please him, to show him how much I loved him. The problem was that I was acting needy. I wasn't coming from a place of love, but rather from a place of neediness and hopelessness. He could sense that, and he didn't want me to do anything for him. I was doing it because I was feeling a lack of love, and wanting desperately for him to show me love back. I was waiting and putting pressure on him to show me the love back. I was saying things like, I'm working on the relationship. I'm doing this for you. I'm doing that for you. Which just made him want to run a mile, which is obvious. And which is why whenever I work with anyone, the first thing we do is making them more attractive and releasing and letting go of neediness. I was focused on the lack of love. I was needing something from him when I was giving. So I was really taking away my giving because I was expecting an exchange. And this is not high vibration of love for two reasons. When you give love to get something in return, it becomes transactional. And if you give love so much at the sacrifice of your own love and your own self, that's not high energy love either. It's only when you love from your own strength that you have the power to influence and change anyone. When you can change yourself, they'll be inspired by the change they see in you. It's science. This not only happened to me, but also Fiona. When Fiona joined the Empowered Love Formula, her life dramatically changed. Fiona is your down-to-earth American wife. She did everything for the family. She put in extra shifts at work to send her kids to college. And then last year, her husband came to her wanting a divorce. It was totally out of the blue. He wanted to exit the family, and it started to crush Fiona from within. In a desperate attempt to understand what she was going wrong, she started to search online. She'd found lots of things online, tried lots of books, but nothing was really working. And then she watched the Marriage Secret Masterclass, similar to what you're listening to now. And she knew that it was right. After work one summer evening, listening to the audios in the car, she started to feel freer and more alive. She started to realise that her negative patterns and resentments had to go, and that her neediness needed to be dropped instantly. All the way home from work that week, and all the way to work that week, she'd been listening to the unique audios playing in her ears. On this evening, instead of feeling anxious to see her husband when she got home, she felt different. Something inside of her had changed. Walking through the door, she felt a warm breeze blowing from the garden doors. She could smell the smoke of a barbecue sizzling in the distance. Although her husband had asked for a divorce at the start of the year, he was still living in the house with the kids until they could decide what to do with the house, with schooling, with everything. Normally, they would just ignore each other, go about their own business at home, but today was different. Julie walked outside the back door into the garden where the barbecue was cooking. The kids were sitting on the wooden deck looking out over the backyard. And then it happened. She caught the eye of her husband. Their eyes met. It was like a magnetic gaze pulling them together. Julie instantly sent him love. She carried on gazing into his eyes, looking at him lovingly. And slowly he started to look at her lovingly back. She smiled at him, and he smiled back, with a look in his eye that everything was going to be okay. A connection had been re-established. Safe to say, Bob and Fiona are now totally in love again. They're in love energy instead of feeling worried and anxious about the possibility of divorce. Fiona stopped asking questions, stopped being difficult, and they decided to take their relationship one day at a time, following the steps in the program, taking it one day and 1 week at a time. And after doing that for several months and building on small bits of happiness, putting aside their problems and focusing on making each other happy, they have now started to plan a world trip that they've always wanted to go on. They're now planning their dream trip, which they are so excited about. It's given them a breath of fresh air by focusing on happiness, on love, and putting aside problems. So now I've shown you how to watch your partner change overnight without you having to go over past problems that keep you stuck in constant arguments. Secret number 3. If you followed what I've showed you in secret 1, how to awaken your hidden magnetic love energy, and then you follow what I've showed you in secret number 2, pressing reset on your marriage to reignite love faster than you think, and then you follow what I've showed you in step 3, how to watch your partner change overnight without you having to go over past problems that keep you stuck in constant arguments, do you think that you could be successful in changing your relationship? Are you excited about what I've just talked about? I remember when I first discovered how to awaken my love energy. I was so excited. I couldn't stop expanding my knowledge. I just had to learn everything I could about it. And now here I am today. And I started with Masaru Emoto's, the expert that I mentioned to you that studied the effect of energy and words on water and how the water crystals, when frozen, look completely different. Go and look that up. It's just amazing. We are energy. Our thoughts and our words that we say to each other in a relationship can change everything. And then imagine what action and love energy does as well. You can literally transform your relationship by yourself using these 3 secrets and applying them with the right action and listening to the right audios at the right time. It's key. You must awaken your love energy to have a great relationship, to have a great life. Are you feeling a little overwhelmed because I've covered so much? It's impossible really to show you all of this in these 4 parts, especially in audio format only. I've tried to cover as much as possible, so it's really easy for you to implement these secrets in your relationship straight away. One of the most amazing things about my job is that I've been able to speak to thousands of couples all over the world and individuals who want to win back their wife or win back their husband, to save marriages, strengthen families, and to stop loneliness. It's a real mission of mine to stop loneliness, because loneliness is what led me to pick up addictions like drinking and binge eating, and it was so miserable and I was so trapped. And if I just looked at the addiction or the habit, then I wouldn't have been able to get the freedom that I do now. It's really the loneliness. And this can happen in a relationship and as well as being single. You don't have to be single to be lonely. And that's my mission, is to help people to have deeper, more loving, connected relationships. Now, as I mentioned, I get to help thousands of people. And one of the things that I notice is that there are common mistakes that I want people to be aware of, because they can really get in the way of progress. The first one is not believing that you're enough. Not believing that you're good enough, not believing that you're enough to have a wonderful, truly happy relationship, to be happy in life, to be free. The second is not willing to invest time and energy in yourself, and time and resources in yourself, investing in yourself, financially, emotionally, and time-wise. And the last is holding on to resentment and negativity. So I've got this really special invitation for you. I'm offering you a 45-minute, 100% confidential call with me, where you'll gain instant clarity on what are the next steps you should do and take to rekindle the love once and for all. It's a private invitation to overcome your number 1 biggest obstacle standing in the way of love in your marriage right now. If this calls to you and you want more love in your relationship, then I'm giving away this opportunity. And it's an empowered love strategy session, so it's only for people that have listened to all 4 parts of the audio and hear how it works. I'm going to get you on the call. I'm going to ask you some questions before, and we're going to uncover the one thing that's in your way of loving happiness. Now, I've helped hundreds of individuals to single-handedly save their marriage, as well as thousands of couples to ignite the passion and love. So you've got the option of just you turning up, or your partner coming as well, or one of the most popular options is you having a call first on your own, and then your partner also having their individual call, and then the coming together if you decide to do the program together or separately. It's going to take about 45 minutes, and it's absolutely free. We'll meet online and we'll work together to get you clear on exactly what you need to do next. So you can get real clarity, because as I mentioned at the beginning, there is so much information out there. It's information overload, and we need to know exactly how we can apply it to our own circumstances, our own relationship, and our own lives. Now, it's not for everyone. It's only for people who are committed to making their life and relationship truly extraordinary. It's only for people who are committed to taking action in order to create more love in their life. It's simple, all of this stuff that I've been sharing with you here. But it's not easy, especially clearing the past. And I've covered a lot. And this stuff is life-changing that we've talked about. Awakening your love energy, pressing reset and releasing negativity and resentment from the past, and also getting them to change through love is a really amazing way to create true, lasting love. In fact, I believe it's the only way. But I'm biased because I've lived it and I've proven it, and I've seen thousands of couples and individuals have the same experience. So it's easy for me to say that because obviously I've got the evidence there and I've gone through it. So if you want to experience it, all it takes is a leap of faith, booking a call to find out more. If you're sick of the headaches of trying to work everything out on your own, if you're sick of trying to absorb so much information and finding it confusing on what to do, if you've asked lots of friends on how to help your marriage and it's just confusing you even more, you're not alone. So get in touch with me if this calls to you, and let's get you on the path to awakening your love energy and changing your life. I want to thank you so much for being with me in this 4-part series, for hearing all about my life and my struggles and how I've come out, thankfully, on top and enjoying the journey of life. I really want you to enjoy your life to the max. And it's because of you that I get to live my life. So I'm truly, truly grateful. Have a wonderful week ahead. Thank you so much for being here.